Mama, why does that man look like me? The wine glass slipped from Amara's fingers. Red liquid exploded across white marble, droplets hitting the hem of her yellow Ankara dress like blood spatter. Her son's small hand tugged insistently at hers, but she couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Across the gallery floor, through the maze of laughing patrons and abstract canvases, stood a ghost. He wore midnight, black suit tailored so precisely it could have been painted on. His posture screamed control, shoulders back, chin level, hands loose at his sides. But it was his face that stopped her heart. Sharp jaw, hooded eyes. The way his head tilted slightly left when he focused, like a predator calculating distance. Exactly like Eli. The man's gaze locked onto hers. For 3 seconds, the Lagos Contemporary Art Gallery ceased to exist. No chatter. No Afrobeat humming from hidden speakers. No golden hour sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. Just the taste of tear gas and blood in her mouth. Just Seoul for years ago, and a kiss that should never have happened. Miss Okafor? The gallery owner's voice pierced through. Are you all right? Amara blinked. The world rushed back, too loud, too bright. She crouched, gathering her composure with the broken glass. I'm fine. Just clumsy. But when she looked up, he was walking toward her. Each step deliberate. Expensive leather shoes clicking against marble. A bodyguard shadowed him. Thick-necked, alert, hand resting near his jacket's interior. Other guests parted unconsciously, some primal instinct recognizing danger, even when wrapped in designer fabric. Eli pressed against Amara's leg, staring up at the approaching stranger with zero fear. Children always knew. They sensed things adults train themselves to ignore. The man stopped 3 feet away. Close enough that Amara caught his cologne, cedar, and smoke. Close enough to see the muscle jumping in his jaw. Your work is remarkable. His English carried a Korean accent, each word measured. The use of negative space. The tension between violence and grace. His eyes never left hers. Have we met? Amara stood slowly, positioning herself between him and Eli. I don't think so. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. I'd remember. You have the same dragon as my drawing. Eli's excitement cut through the adult standoff. He darted around Amara's legs, pointing at the man's left wrist where black ink peeked beneath a platinum watch. The stranger's fingers twitched. He glanced down at her son, really looked, and something cracked behind those ice-chip eyes. Recognition. Calculation. Fear. He covered the tattoo with his other hand, a gesture so quick most would miss it. But Amara saw. She saw everything now. The way he held his breath. The way color drained from his knuckles. Eli, come here. She kept her tone light, but her hand shook when she pulled her son back. Mr. Park. The gallery owner materialized, oblivious to the electricity crackling between them. Let me introduce our featured artist. This is Amara Okafor, Nigerian contemporary, recently returned from Seoul. The stranger, Mr. Park, finished. His gaze shifted to the painting dominating the far wall. 20 feet of canvas. An abstract male figure, face obscured, but the dragon tattoo on his forearm rendered in excruciating detail. Every scale, every curve of smoke. She'd painted it from memory. From one night. From the shape of a wound she'd bandaged in an alley while tear gas burned her lungs. You painted this from life. Not a question. An accusation wrapped in silk. From memory. Amara forced herself to meet his eyes. 4 years ago. Seoul. A protest that turned violent. She paused, testing. A man who bled on my hands and disappeared. Before I tell you what happened next, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna and comment where you're watching from. Because what came next changed everything. The bodyguard shifted forward, but Mr. Park raised one finger. Stop. The big man froze. Miss Okafor. His voice dropped lower, intimate despite the crowd. We need to discuss your inspiration. Privately. I don't think. Tonight. He slipped a business card into her palm, fingers brushing hers for half a second. The contact burned. Midnight. The address is on the back. Eli grabbed the man's hand before Amara could stop him. Her son's tiny fingers traced the dragon tattoo with the focus of an artist decades older than 5. "It's exactly like mine," he whispered, awestruck. The stranger stared down at Eli. Really stared, taking in the identical jawline. The same dark eyes with flecks of amber near the iris. The way Eli's left eyebrow quirked higher when curious. Then Eli started humming. Soft at first. A melody Amara had heard 1,000 times, but never learned the origin of. A Korean lullaby her son had somehow known since he could make sounds. The stranger's face went white. Actually white. His hand, still held by Eli, began to shake. "Where did you learn that?" The question came out strangled. Eli shrugged, still humming. "I always knew it. It lives in my bones." The bodyguard whispered something urgent in Korean. Mr. Park's jaw clenched so hard Amara heard teeth grinding. He looked at her, really looked, and she saw it. The same terror that gripped her chest. "He knows." Midnight. He pulled his hand free gently, almost reverently, from Eli's grasp. "Don't be late." He turned and walked out. The bodyguard followed, already on his phone. The gallery returned to its ambient noise, guests drifting back to paintings and wine, unaware they'd just witnessed a bomb detonate in slow motion. Amara looked down at the business card. Heavy stock. Embossed lettering. Park Ji-Woon. CEO, Hanseong International. She flipped it over. An address scrawled in sharp handwriting. Below it, in Korean characters she'd translate later. "They're watching you. Come alone, or don't come at all. Mama?" Eli tugged her dress. "Why are you shaking?" "Because I just saw your father for the first time since the night you were conceived." "Because he knows." "Because the dragon I painted from memory is the same one tattooed on his skin, and now I've broadcast his face to everyone in this room. I'm just cold, baby." She scooped him up, cards still burning in her palm. "Let's go home." But as they walked toward the exit, Amara felt eyes on her back. Not Ji-Woon's, he was already gone. These were different. Watching from the crowd. Multiple pairs. Assessing. Calculating. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She opened the text with one hand. Eli balanced on her hip. A photo loaded. Her art studio. The one she'd left 2 hours ago. Empty then. Not empty now. A figure in the window. Just a silhouette. But the message below made her blood freeze. Asterisk, beautiful boy. Looks just like someone we know. See you at midnight whether you want to or not. Asterisk. Amara's hand tightened on Eli. She walked faster, scanning faces in the crowd. Which one? Who was watching right now? At the gallery door, she glanced back once. The painting of the dragon seemed to pulse in the golden light. A warning she'd painted for herself, without knowing. For years ago, she'd kissed a bleeding stranger in a Seoul alley. Tonight, she'd learned the cost of that single, reckless moment. And her son, innocent, humming his impossible lullaby, would pay the price for a father he'd never known existed. "You're not going." Zara stood in Amara's doorway, camera bag slung over one shoulder, expression sharp enough to cut glass. She pushed past without invitation, boots tracking Legos rain across the apartment's worn tile. Amara locked the door behind her, checked the window for the 3rd time in 10 minutes. "I don't have a choice." "Everyone has a choice." Zara dropped her bag on the kitchen counter, started unpacking lenses with the efficiency of someone preparing for war. "You choose not to meet a stranger at midnight with a cryptic threat hanging over your head. He's not a stranger." The words came out before Amara could stop them. Zara froze mid-reach, turned slowly. Her eyes, always too observant, always catching what others missed, narrowed. "Amara, what did you do?" In the bedroom, Eli slept with his nightlight casting cartoon animals across the wall. Elephants. Giraffes. A dragon that looked too much like the one tattooed on Ji-Woon's arm. Amara closed the door gently, then collapsed onto her threadbare couch. Seoul. 4 years ago. May 2020. Zara sat across from her, silent for once. Waiting. There was a protest. Anti-corruption. I was sketching near the subway when riot police moved in. Amara's hands twisted together. Tear gas everywhere. People screaming. I ran into an alley, and her voice cracked. There was a man, bleeding, stabbed below his ribs. And you helped him. I tried. He was cold. Told me I'd die if I touched him. But then police came, and we had to hide. The memory tasted like copper and smoke. We were pressed behind a dumpster. His blood on my jacket. His breath on my neck. And then, you kissed him. He kissed me. Or I kissed him. I don't know anymore. Amara looked up, eyes wet. It lasted maybe 10 seconds. Then black SUVs pulled up. Men in suits dragged him away. He tried to say something, but they were too fast.
Gone.
Like he'd never existed. Zara processed this with the methodical calm of someone who'd photographed war zones. And then, I searched for him. For weeks. Asked around the university, checked hospitals, posted on expat forums. Nothing. It was like he was a ghost. Amara's laugh came out bitter. 8 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. Jesus, Amara. I kept him. Came back to Lagos. Told my family the father was a Korean student who'd returned home. They didn't ask questions. She wiped her face roughly. Eli's the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't regret it. But tonight, that man at the gallery was him. Park Ji-Woon. That's his real name. The card says he's a CEO. Amara pulled out her phone, showed Zara the threatening text. But whoever sent this knows him. Knows what he is. Zara's fingers flew across her phone screen. Let me make some calls. While her friend worked, Amara checked on Eli again. Her son slept peacefully, dragon drawing clutched in one hand. He'd been sketching that image for months.
Always the same design.
Always from memory, he shouldn't have. Music lives in blood. Where had she heard that phrase? Found him. Zara's voice cut through her thoughts. Amara, you need to see this. The phone screen showed a Korean news article from 2 years ago. Park Ji-Woon standing beside Seoul's mayor at a charity gala. Tailored tuxedo. That same cold expression. The caption identified him as CEO of Hanseong International, a massive import-export conglomerate. Scroll down, Zara said quietly. The next article was different. Published by an independent journalist, later retracted. It detailed allegations of money laundering, connections to the Odongpa crime syndicate, weapons smuggling masked as legitimate shipping operations. Park Ji-Woon's name appeared 17 times. All references carefully worded. All stopping just short of direct accusation. There's more. Zara pulled up a Reddit thread in Korean. Ran it through translation. Underground forums call him the Ice King. Claims he took over his uncle's operation at 23 after a violent succession war. Rumor is he's never lost a negotiation because he doesn't negotiate, he eliminates. Amara's stomach turned. That's the father of my child. That's the man who wants to meet you at midnight. Zara set down her phone. What does he want, Amara? After 4 years? Why now? I don't know. But she showed Zara the business card, flipped to the handwritten note. He says they're watching me.
Who's they?
Let me find out. Zara opened her laptop, pulled up photos from the gallery exhibition. She'd been shooting the event for promotional material. Her fingers clicked through images, patrons, artwork, champagne glasses. Then she stopped. There. She zoomed in on a photo taken 30 minutes before Ji-Woon arrived. A man in casual clothes standing near the entrance. Nigerian. Mid-30s. Unremarkable except for one detail. He was photographing Amara's dragon painting with professional equipment. Could be press. Amara offered weakly. Press don't check their phones every 15 seconds like they're reporting to someone. Zara clicked to the next image. Same man, now watching Amara. Next image. Photographing Eli. He was tracking you. The apartment suddenly felt smaller. Amara moved to the window, scanned the street below. Rain-slicked asphalt. Parked cars. Normal Lagos night. Except for the black sedan idling 3 buildings down. Engine running. Windows tinted. Zara. Her friend joined her at the window. They watched in silence as a second figure emerged from the building's side alley.
Tall.
Moving with military precision, he slipped into the sedan's passenger seat. They're not even hiding. Zara's voice dropped. Amara, this is professional surveillance. Not street level. This is.
Her phone rang.
Unknown number. They stared at it for 3 rings before Amara answered, putting it on speaker. Silence. Then breathing. Then, Miss Okafor. A woman's voice. Nigerian accent. Educated. You received an invitation tonight. We'd like to discuss the terms before you accept. Who is this? Someone who knows what Park Ji-Woon is, what he's done, and what he'll do to protect his secrets now that you've painted his face for the world to see. Amara's hand tightened on the phone. I don't know what you're talking about. That dragon tattoo. It's not decorative. It marks rank in the Odong-pa syndicate. By displaying it publicly, you've compromised his cover in Lagos. His enemies now know he's here, and they'll use you and your son to draw him out. Then tell them I don't know him. Tell them. It's too late for that. The woman's tone turned almost sympathetic. The boy looks exactly like him. Anyone with eyes can see it. You've already made your choice, Miss Okafor. Now you live with the consequences. The line went dead. If you protect your child the same way, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna, and tell me where you're watching from. Zara grabbed Amara's shoulders. You're not going to that hotel. We call the police. And tell them what? That a man I kissed 4 years ago looked at my son. Amara pulled away, pacing. The police can't help. Not against this. Then we run. Pack Eli up. Go to your parents' compound in Enugu. They found my studio. They're outside my building right now. Where exactly am I running to? A crash from the bedroom. Both women spun. Amara reached the door first. Threw it open. Eli sat up in bed, eyes wide, tears streaming. Mama. The dragon man. He was bleeding again. So much blood. And you were crying. And he clutched his drawing tighter. Why is everyone trying to hurt the dragon? Amara pulled him close, rocking. It's just a nightmare, baby. Just a bad dream. But Eli shook his head against her chest. Not a dream. I remember. The alley. The red lights. You sang to him. Impossible. He wasn't even conceived yet. What did I sing, Eli? Her son hummed the lullaby. The same one he'd hummed at the gallery. The same one that made Ji-Woon go pale. Zara's face reflected what Amara felt, fear mixing with something else. Something that defied logic. We need answers. Amara's voice steadied. And there's only one person who can give them. So you're going. I'm going. She kissed Eli's forehead, settled him back under the covers. But not alone. You'll stay here with him. Doors locked. If I'm not back by 2 a.m., I'm calling everyone. Police, embassy, hell, I'll call CNN if I have to. Amara managed to smile. Thank you. At 11:45, she slipped out of the apartment. The black sedan was gone now, replaced by a different car. White Toyota. Equally anonymous. She ignored it, flagged a Kiki Napep 3 blocks away. Eco Hotel. Victoria Island. The driver glanced at her in the rear view. Big night. Something like that. Lagos streamed past, vendors closing shops, couples walking hand in hand, the perpetual hum of generators. Normal life. The kind she'd built for Eli. The kind that was crumbling with every kilometer toward that hotel. Her phone buzzed. The business card's address translated to a rooftop suite. Presidential level. Of course. Another text arrived. This time from Ji-Woon's number. Asterisk security will escort you from the lobby. Leave your phone. They'll check for wires. Asterisk. She typed back. Asterisk, I'm not wired. I'm not a threat. Asterisk. His response came instantly. Asterisk, everyone's a threat until proven otherwise. If you want answers, you'll follow protocol. Asterisk. The Kiki pulled up to Eco Hotel's gleaming facade. Amara paid, stepped out into humidity that clung like a second skin. Through the glass doors, she could see the lobby, marble and gold, excessive and cold. Two men in dark suits waited near the elevators.
Korean.
Impossible to miss in the mostly Nigerian crowd. One of them made eye contact, nodded once. This was real. This was happening. Amara walked through those doors feeling like she was entering a tomb. The elevator ride lasted 43 seconds. Neither guard spoke. One held a scanner, swept it over her body with professional efficiency. The other took her phone, dropped it in a signal-blocking pouch. He's armed, the first guard said in English. If you try anything, I'm here to talk. That's all. The doors opened directly into the suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Lagos's skyline, a million lights fighting the darkness. The space was minimalist. Expensive furniture arranged with geometric precision. No personal touches. No warmth. Ji-Woon stood at the window, back to her. Same black suit. Same controlled posture. But his shoulders carried tension now. You kept him. His first words. Not a question. An accusation wrapped in something that might have been wonder. You didn't ask permission. He turned. In the suite's low lighting, he looked different. Younger. More human. I didn't think I'd survive that night. The stabbing, it was an assassination attempt. My uncle's men. I was supposed to die in that alley. But I stopped to help. You stopped my bleeding long enough for my people to find me. The medics said 10 more minutes, and I'd have been gone. His eyes, darker than Eli's, but the same shape, fixed on her. I tried to find you afterward. Spent weeks searching. But Seoul's a big city, and you'd vanished. I came home, found out I was pregnant, built a life. Amara's voice hardened. And now you show up, and everything falls apart. Who's watching me, Ji-Woon? Who sent that text? Multiple parties. My organization has enemies. When you displayed that painting, you broadcasted my presence in Lagos to everyone looking for me. I didn't know. Ignorance doesn't matter. You made me visible. And the boy, his control cracked. He looks exactly like me. Same face. Same mannerisms. He even hums. Ji-Woon stopped, jaw working. How does he know that lullaby? I don't know. He's always known it. Since he could make sounds. That's impossible. Everything about tonight is impossible. Amara stepped closer. You want answers? So do I, starting with what you are.
CEO?
Or criminal? Both. The business is legitimate. The methods are not. And Eli? Is he in danger because of you? Ji-Woon's phone lit up before he could answer. He glanced at the screen. Every muscle in his body went rigid. What is it? He turned the phone toward her. A photo message. Eli's elementary school. The playground visible through the fence. Timestamp, 6:47 p.m. today. The caption beneath made Amara's knees buckle. Asterisk cute kid. Would be a shame if something happened during recess tomorrow. Asterisk.
No.
The word tore from her throat. No, no, no. Ji-Woon was already moving, barking orders in Korean into his phone. The suite door burst open. More guards. Rapid-fire instructions. He grabbed Amara's arm. We're leaving.
Now.
I need to get to Eli. I have people moving to your building already. But we need to. The window exploded. Glass and sound and chaos. Ji-Woon tackled Amara to the floor, his body covering hers. Something whistled overhead, a bullet punching through the opposite wall. Sniper. One of the guards screamed. Southwest building. Return fire erupted. The guards shooting blind into the Lagos night. Ji-Woon dragged Amara toward the elevator, glass shredding their clothes. Stairs. He pivoted, kicked open a service door. They plunged into fluorescent-lit concrete, footsteps echoing. Amara's ears rang. Eli, I have to get to Eli. I know. Ji-Woon's voice stayed level even as they ran. I have 4 men en route to your apartment.
Armed. Trained.
They'll protect him until we arrive. 20 floors down. 30. Her legs burned, but terror kept her moving. They burst into the parking garage. A black Mercedes idled near the exit, driver already revving. Ji-Woon shoved Amara into the back seat, climbed in beside her.
Ikoyi.
Victoria Island route. Fast. The car peeled out, tires screaming. Amara fumbled for her phone, remembered it was gone. Give me your phone.
Now.
Ji-Woon handed it over without argument. She dialed Zara with shaking fingers. 1 ring.
2. 3.
Please, Amara whispered. Please pick up. 4 rings. Voicemail. Her blood went cold. Drive faster, Ji-Woon ordered. To Amara. When did you last speak to your friend? 20 minutes ago. She was with Eli. Doors locked. She promised. Call again.
She did.
Voicemail again. Then she tried her apartment's landline, a backup her mother insisted she keep. It rang 18 times before she hung up. Lagos blurred past. Too slow. Everything too slow. The Mercedes screeched to a stop outside her building. Amara was out before it fully halted, sprinting for the entrance. Ji-Woon and his guards flanked her. The front door stood open.
Not kicked in. Not forced.
Just open. Stay behind me, Ji-Woon commanded. He pulled a gun from his jacket, compact, lethal. The guards drew weapons too. They climbed the stairs in tactical formation. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor. The hallway lights flickered. Someone had broken the bulbs.
Her door was ajar.
Ji-Woon tested the handle carefully, then pushed it wide. The guards swept the room with practiced efficiency. Clear.
Clear.
Bedroom clear. Amara shoved past them. The living room was ransacked. Couch cushions slashed. Her art supplies scattered. Zara's camera bag dumped out, equipment smashed. And Zara, unconscious on the floor, blood matting her hair. No. Amara dropped beside her friend, fingers searching for a pulse. Found it. Weak, but there.
Zara.
Zara, wake up. One of the guards was already calling for an ambulance. Another checked the rest of the apartment. Amara stumbled toward Eli's room. The door hung off its hinges. The bed was empty. Nightlight still glowing. Cartoon animals dancing across walls. But no boy. No laughter. No humming. Just a drawing on his pillow. The dragon. But this time, someone had drawn a red X through it with crayon. And beneath, in adult handwriting, "He drew this for you, Mama." Amara's scream shattered the night. She's stable. Concussion. 3 stitches. She'll wake in a few hours. The medic's words barely registered. Amara sat on the floor of Ji-Woon's safe house, knees pulled to chest, staring at nothing. They transported Zara here after the ambulance arrived, Ji-Woon insisting his private doctor was safer than any Lagos hospital. The safe house occupied a gated compound in Lekki Peninsula. High walls. Armed guards. Surveillance cameras covering every angle. A fortress that felt like a prison. Eli had been gone for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Ji-Woon stood at a bank of monitors, phone pressed to his ear, speaking rapid Korean. His jacket was off now, sleeves rolled up, revealing more of that dragon tattoo. It coiled up his entire forearm, breathing smoke and fire. Amara wanted to claw it off his skin. How long? Ji-Woon's voice cut through her fog. Day, the bodyguard from the gallery, looked up from his laptop. Facial recognition caught a white van leaving your neighborhood at 11:52 p.m. Switched plates twice. Lost them in Seoul traffic. Find them. Working on it. We've got people checking known safe houses, bribing traffic officers, pulling CCTV from. I don't need a status report. I need my son's location. The word hung in the air. My son. Not the boy or him. Day nodded, returned to his keyboard. 2 other men worked at adjacent stations, one running facial recognition software, the other coordinating with assets across Lagos. All Korean. All moving with military efficiency. Ji-Woon ended his call, moved to where Amara sat. He lowered himself carefully beside her, keeping distance. We'll find him, will you? Her voice came out hollow. Or, will they send him back in pieces like your friend promised? Min-jae isn't my friend. He's a cancer I should have cut out years ago. Who is he? Ji-Woon leaned back against the wall, exhaustion finally showing. My mentor. The man who taught me everything about the organization. When my uncle tried to have me killed in that Seoul alley, Min-jae helped me survive the aftermath. We rebuilt together, expanded into Southeast Asia, made billions. What happened? I wanted out. Started legitimizing the business, moving away from weapons and drugs toward legal trade. Min-jae saw it as weakness, betrayal of tradition.
His jaw tightened.
2 years ago, he tried to take over.
Failed.
I exiled him instead of killing him. Biggest mistake of my life. And now he has Eli. Now he has leverage. Amara turned to look at him directly for the first time since they'd arrived. You could give him what he wants. Your operations. Your codes. Whatever it takes. If I do that, we're all dead within a week. Min-jae doesn't forgive. He collects debts and scalps. Ji-Woon met her eyes. But I will get Eli back. I swear it. On what? Your honor as a criminal? On the fact that he's mine. That makes him untouchable. He's 5 years old. He doesn't understand untouchable. Amara's voice cracked. He's probably terrified right now. Crying for me. And I can't. The sob finally broke through. I can't get to him. Ji-Woon's hand moved toward her shoulder, stopped halfway. May I? She nodded, too exhausted to care. His palms settled warm and solid against her back, not pulling her close. Just there. They sat in silence while his people worked, while Zara slept in the next room, while somewhere in Lagos, her son was alone with monsters. He hums that lullaby, Amara said finally. The one you recognized. Where does it come from? Ji-Woon's hand stilled. My mother. She died when I was 6. Breast cancer. Before she passed, she'd sing that song every night. Old Korean melody. Her grandmother taught her. I've never sung it to him. Never even heard it before tonight. Music lives in blood. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. That's what she used to say. That songs pass through generations whether we teach them or not. I thought she meant metaphorically. What if she didn't? The question sat between them like a third presence. Impossible. Illogical. But then everything about tonight defied logic. He drew your tattoo before meeting you, Amara continued. Same design. Same placement. He's been sketching it for months. You're saying he inherited memories. I'm saying I don't know what he inherited. But it's more than just your face. Ji-Woon stood abruptly, paced to the windows. Lagos sprawled below, a city of 20 million, swallowing her son whole. When we get him back. When. He turned, and something in his expression had changed. The ice had cracked. When we get him back, I can't just disappear again. You understand that. What are you asking? I'm saying he's marked now. My enemies know he exists. They'll always know. Which means he needs protection. Training. Resources that I can provide. He needs a childhood. Not bodyguards and paranoia. He needs to survive long enough to have a childhood. Ji-Woon crossed back, crouched in front of her. I'm not asking to take him. I'm asking to be part of his life. To give him tools to navigate a world that just got a lot more dangerous. Before Amara could respond, Day called out. We've got something. They both moved to the monitors. Day pulled up a grainy CCTV feed. Warehouse district. A pop-up port. Van matching the description arrived 40 minutes ago. 3 men unloaded cargo. Looked like they were carrying something small. Can you confirm? Not visually. But listen. Day enhanced audio. Through the static came a sound that made Amara's heart stop. A child crying, then humming through tears. That lullaby. That's him. She grabbed Ji-Woon's arm. That's Eli. Ji-Woon's face went from open to locked in half a second. Battle mode. Pull up building schematics. How many exits?
4.
Plus water access. Guard rotation? Standard port security. Bribable. But Min-jae will have his own people inside. How many? Unknown. Could be 3. Could be 20. Have you ever felt this helpless? Comment your experience and where you're watching from. Ji-Woon straightened. Get me Chun. Tell him to position extraction teams at all exits. No police. No government. This stays internal. What about the exchange? Day asked. Min Jae will expect you to come alone. He'll have snipers. Traps. Then I'll come alone. The hell you will. Amara stood. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. He's my son before he's yours. I'm not sitting here while you play hero. Ji-Woon's eyes flashed. This isn't a negotiation. You're a civilian. Untrained. You'll get yourself killed, and probably Eli too. And you're so confident in your plan? The man who exiled his enemy instead of eliminating him? Who walked into my life and painted a target on my son's back? Amara stepped closer. You don't get to sideline me. Not now. They stared at each other, wills colliding like storm fronts. Finally, Ji-Woon exhaled. You stay in the vehicle. You don't approach the building. If shooting starts, you hit the floor and don't move. Understood? Fine. I mean it, Amara. These people won't hesitate to. I understand what they are. I've spent the last 2 hours imagining what they're doing to my baby. So yes, I'll stay in the car. But I'm going. Day cleared his throat. Boss, we got another problem. A new window opened on screen. Phone intercept. Korean text translated to English at the bottom. Asterisk the woman comes to, or the boy loses a finger. You have until dawn. A Papa port. Warehouse 7. Come with the codes and your regrets. Asterisk. He knows. Amara's voice steadied. He knows I'm with you. He's been tracking us this whole time. Ji-Woon's fist slammed into the desk, cracking the wood.
How?
Does it matter? She moved to the monitor, memorizing the warehouse location. He wants both of us. So we give him both of us. It's a trap. Everything tonight has been a trap. We're already caught. The only question is whether we spring it on our terms or his. Ji-Woon studied her for a long moment, then nodded once. Get her a vest. And someone teach her how to drop when she hears gunfire. While his people scrambled, Ji-Woon pulled Amara aside. When we get him back, and we will, there's something you need to understand. What? I left you alone in Seoul because I thought I was protecting you. I told myself love was a weakness I couldn't afford. His voice dropped. I was wrong. The moment I saw that boy tonight, saw your painting, I knew. Some things you don't walk away from. Some people change everything. Amara's throat tightened. Don't make promises you can't keep. I'm not promising forever. I'm promising I won't let them hurt our son. Our son. The words settled over her like armor and burden both. In the next room, Zara stirred, groaning. Amara moved to her bedside as her friend's eyes fluttered open. Where? Zara winced. Where's Eli? They took him. But we're getting him back. Zara tried to sit up, fell back with a curse. I'm sorry. They came through the window.
Fast.
Professional. I tried to. You're alive. That's what matters. Amara squeezed her hand.
Rest.
We'll bring him home. Amara. Zara's grip tightened. The man who hit me. Before I went down, he said something. In English. Said, tell the Ice King his debts come due at dawn. We know. We're going there now. Then you're walking into an execution. I know. Zara pulled her closer despite the pain. Bring that baby home. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Amara returned to the main room where Ji-Woon was strapping on weapons like a man preparing for war. Because that's what this was. Not a rescue. A reckoning. Ready? He asked. She nodded. They walked out together into the Lagos night. A mother, a killer, and the desperate hope that love could survive what was coming next. Your hands are shaking. Ji-Woon's voice cut through the Mercedes' tense silence. They were 10 minutes from Apapa Port, Lagos sprawling dark and restless around them. Amara looked down at her trembling fingers, forced them still against her thighs. I'm fine. You're terrified. That's smart. He checked his weapon one final time. Smooth, practice motions. Fear keeps you alert. Keeps you alive. Day drove with one hand, the other resting near his holstered gun. In the vehicle behind them, Chen coordinated with 3 more cars positioned around the port's perimeter. Extraction teams. Snipers. A small army moving through Lagos like shadows. All for one 5-year-old boy who hummed songs he should know. When we arrive, Ji-Woon continued, Min-jae will position himself somewhere elevated. Good sight lines. Multiple exits. He'll have Eli close but not too close, insurance against me shooting first. You've done this before. More times than I can count. His jaw tightened. But never with this much at stake. The port materialized from the darkness. Shipping containers stacked like giant's blocks, cranes frozen mid-reach, warehouses crouching low and menacing. Warehouse 7 sat near the water's edge, rust-streaked metal catching moonlight. Day killed the headlights, rolled to a stop 50 meters out. Chun reports movement inside. At least 8 hostiles. Thermal imaging shows a small heat signature in the northwest corner. Second floor. That's him. Amara reached for the door handle. Ji-Woon caught her wrist. You stay here until I signal. Bulletproof glass. Armored chassis. Safest place you can be. And if they shoot you the moment you step out? Then Day gets you out. Chun retrieves Eli. You disappear. New identity, new country, protection I've already arranged. I'm not leaving without my son. You'll do whatever keeps him alive. Ji-Woon's grip softened. Promise me. If this goes wrong, you run. You give him the life I can't. Before she could answer, his phone lit up. Video call. He answered. Angled the screen so Amara could see. Min-jae's face filled the frame. Older than Ji-Woon by a decade, scar bisecting his left eyebrow, eyes like chips of flint. Behind him, barely visible, Eli sat bound to a chair. Tape across his mouth. Tears tracking his cheeks. Amara's gasp came out strangled. Ji-Woon's hand found hers, squeezed hard. Punctual as always, Min-jae said in English, accent thick. The Ice King arrives with his warm little family. How touching. Let me see him up close. Proof he's unharmed. Min-jae's smile could have frozen blood. He turned the camera. Eli's eyes, so much like Ji-Woon's, went wide when he saw his mother on screen. He tried to speak around the tape, making desperate sounds. Baby, it's okay, Amara choked out. We're here. We're getting you. Are you? Min-jae swung the camera back to himself. That depends entirely on what Ji-Woon values more. His empire or his bastard. The codes for the boy. Clean exchange. Nothing is clean between us. You know that. Min-jae's expression darkened. You took everything from me. My position. My reputation. You made me crawl in front of the council like a dog. You betrayed the family. I showed mercy by letting you live. Mercy? The word came out poison. You turned me into a ghost. 2 years of scraping by, rebuilding from nothing while you played legitimate businessman. Now you have something I can take. Something that'll hurt worse than death. Ji-Woon's control finally cracked. He's a child. Innocent. This is between us. Everything changed the moment you let that woman paint your face. The moment you fathered an heir. Min-jae leaned closer to the camera. Now walk inside. Alone. Hands where I can see them. Or the boy's first lesson in our world is how much pain a small body can endure. The call ended. Amara couldn't breathe. Couldn't think past the image of Eli's terrified face. We have to. I know. Ji-Woon was already moving, checking equipment. He pulled out a small device, tracker disguised as a button. Fastened it to Amara's vest. If shooting starts, hit the deck and stay down. Day will extract you. Chen's team will breach from the east. What about you? I'll be keeping Min-jae's attention. He opened the door, paused. For what it's worth, that night in Seoul, that kiss, it wasn't nothing. I want you to know that. Then he was gone, walking toward Warehouse 7 with his hands raised. Utterly exposed. Amara watched through the windshield, fingernails digging into her palms. Day murmured into his comm unit, coordinating positions. The extraction teams were invisible, but she knew they were there, waiting, ready to turn this port into a war zone. Ji-Woon reached the warehouse entrance. Rusted metal door swung open. He disappeared inside. How long? Amara whispered. 2 minutes before Chen's team is in position. Day's eyes never left the building. 3 before we breach. That's too long. It's tactical procedure. To hell with procedure. That's my son in there. Day's calm crackled. Chen's voice urgent. Movement on the roof. 2 snipers. They're repositioning, wait. They're aiming at the Mercedes.
Shit.
Day threw the car into reverse just as the windshield spiderwebbed. Bulletproof glass held, but the impact sounded like the world breaking. Get down. Amara dropped as more rounds struck. The Mercedes swerved, tires screaming. Through the chaos, she heard Ji-Woon's voice over the comm. It's a setup. He's got Eli wired with. Explosion. The warehouse's second floor erupted in flame and smoke. Amara's scream tore from somewhere primal as debris rained across the port. No. She clawed at the door handle. Day grabbed her. You can't. She bit his hand, hard enough to draw blood. He released reflexively, and she was out, running toward the inferno. Bullets chewed concrete at her feet. She didn't care. Couldn't hear anything past the roaring in her ears.
Eli.
Eli. Eli. Arms caught her from behind. Chun, appearing from nowhere. Back to the vehicle. Now. My son is in there. Ji-Woon's got him. Look. Through the smoke, a figure emerged carrying a small body. Ji-Woon, face blackened, clothes singed, but moving fast. Eli clutched to his chest, coughing but alive. Behind them, Min-jae stumbled out, gun raised. You destroyed it. 20 years of work. You destroyed. Ji-Woon spun, faster than should have been possible with a child in his arms. His shot hit Min-jae's shoulder, spinning the older man. Before Min-jae could recover, Day was there, weapon-trained center mass.
Down. Now.
Min-jae dropped to his knees, blood spreading. His eyes found Ji-Woon with pure hatred. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Ji-Woon's voice carried no warmth, only finality.
Take him.
Let the authorities handle what's left. Then he was moving toward Amara, and she was running to meet him. He transferred Eli into her arms, and she collapsed around her son, sobbing, checking him for injuries. Burns on his wrists from the ropes. Smoke inhalation. Bruises. But alive. Breathing. Humming that impossible lullaby, even through his tears. Mama. The dragon man saved me. He picked me up and we flew through the fire. I know, baby. I know. She looked up at Ji-Woon through her tears. Thank you. God. Thank you. He nodded once, already turning to coordinate cleanup. Sirens wailed in the distance. They had minutes before official response arrived. We need to move, Chen urged. Police will have questions we can't answer. They piled into vehicles, leaving the burning warehouse behind. Min-jae was zip-tied, thrown into a van. Evidence would be sanitized. Stories would be manufactured. The world would never know what happened at a Papa port tonight. In the Mercedes, Eli curled against Amara, shaking. Ji-Woon sat across from them, watching his son with an expression she couldn't read. Relief? Grief? Love? All of it at once. What now? Amara asked quietly. Now we disappear.
For a while.
Let things settle. He leaned forward. I have a place. Secure. Remote. Room for all of us if...
His phone rang.
The screen showed a Korean number. Unknown. Ji-Woon answered, put it on speaker. A woman's voice, crisp and cold.
Nephew.
I heard you had excitement tonight. Ji-Woon's entire body went rigid. Aunt Haewon. Is it true? You fathered a son? An heir? Silence stretched. Then, yes. How inconvenient. You know the family rules about attachments, about liabilities. He's not a liability. He's my son. Those two things are the same in our world. A pause. I'm arriving in Lagos tomorrow. We'll discuss the boy's future. And yours. The call ended. Amara pulled Eli closer, ice spreading through her chest. Who was that? The head of my family. The real power behind everything. Ji-Woon's face had gone pale. She doesn't make social calls. What does she want? To decide if we're useful or expendable. He met her eyes. I bought us time tonight, but the war isn't over. It's just beginning. Day's calm crackled again. Boss, we've got a problem. Fire Marshal found something in the warehouse debris. A secondary device. Remote detonated. Min-jae had backup plans, Ji-Woon muttered. Not Min-jae's signature. Different maker. Professional grade. Day's voice tightened.
Someone else was there tonight.
Someone who wanted everyone dead. The Mercedes suddenly felt very small. Drive, Ji-Woon ordered. Safe house. Maximum security protocols. As they sped through Lagos, Amara's phone, retrieved from the hotel, buzzed. Unknown message. She opened it with shaking hands. A photo loaded. Her art studio. Not burned like before. Worse. Reconstructed. Every painting replaced. The dragon image now covered an entire wall, rendered in perfect detail. And standing before it, photographed from behind, a woman in an elegant suit. The caption beneath made her blood freeze. You painted his face. I painted yours.
See you soon.
Heroine. Amara showed Ji-Woon. His expression went from shock to resignation to something she'd never seen before.
Fear.
What does this mean? She whispered. It means she's been watching us for months. She knew about Eli before I did.
Knew about you.
The painting. He pulled Eli closer, protective. It means we're players in a game that started long before tonight. Can we run? From her? Ji-Woon's laugh held no humor. There's nowhere in the world she can't reach. Dawn broke over Lagos. New light touching old wounds. In the back seat of an armored Mercedes, a mother, a killer, and a child who carried songs in his blood drove toward an uncertain future. Behind them, a warehouse burned. Ahead, a war waited. And somewhere in Seoul, a woman smiled and booked her flight. To be continued.